Hey, everybody, welcome back to 22 Panels. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and my favorite, elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is my good buddy, Tad. Hello, Tad.
I'm autistic now.
Yes, Tad has an official diagnosis. Uh, do you
I
feel
mean, everybody who spends any time with me knows that I'm autistic, but now I'm autistic in a way. I won't get into how the diagnosis works here, but I will get into why it's important.
Mhm.
It's important because there are services, particularly like OT or PT services, that I
Yep.
could use to find ways to just make my life easier? to
Okay.
figure out to figure out. I mean, a lot of it I've figured out through the years. I like soft things with weight. So I like a heavier stuffed animal. I like having multiple textures. So like my shark's out of reach, but like we've discovered that there are some small stuffed animals that are both soft and have like a bead or some sort of harder material base to like keep them standing up, so I can both push them like a squishmallow at the top but need them like I don't even know what to describe, like a bag of sand almost, right?
Yep.
So like I'm calmed by different textures. I'm light sensitive, we figured out, and now I have the glasses. But like this is all guess and check. This is all Kelly and I looking on the internet, seeing what other people have done, blah blah blah. But like we're having to reinvent the wheel. Now, if I can find an OT that like specializes in autism, and I actually know of a few because I work in special education, they can start saying, well, you're explaining this. That's often one of these things. Let's try this. So it speeds up figuring out things to make me just feel more comfortable. Um, because comfort can go a long way towards productivity, happiness, you name it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But the other thing, and I forget if we talked about this on air, but I know I told you about it. Um, I had an emergency room scare in January.
Yep.
And like, I both have a larger bill and they never really came to a satisfactory conclusion because what was probably severe autistic burnout
Okay.
presented with enough symptoms of a stroke that they didn't spend much time listening to me. They rushed me into a CT scan and then x-rays and eventually an MRI. They didn't even listen to me when I was talking normally again and saying, no, 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 it was never a stroke. My brain was moving 1,000 miles an hour. It can't do that if it's not getting oxygen, right? The problem was the messages from my brain weren't getting to the other parts of my body until I broke them down into teeny tiny pieces. But
Yeah. Right.
it's an emergency room and like we have very standardized medicine. So they were treating me like a horse because there was nothing on paper to say, hey, this guy's a zebra.
Yeah.
So now, should anything like that happen again, when I walk into the emergency room or when my wife takes me into the emergency room, she can first thing say, he's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And they will have that documented. Hopefully, we'll even have found out more of the various things that, like, I'm prone to, and therefore there'll be a record for them to work from. But at the very, very least, they'll know right from the get go that the symptoms they're seeing may be atypical.
Yeah.
And that's a really big deal.
That, yeah, that that saves so much time, energy, money.
Well, and I mean energy and money, but it also like I was mortified when I started looking into it, and autistic people on average, like Asperger's, high functioning autistic people, we're not even talking like the low incidence, right?
Yeah, my
Have
nephew.
have 20 years, have lifespans 20 years less.
Yeah,
And their best guess is it's because they have trouble communicating with their doctors and their doctors have trouble understanding what they're trying to convey.
yeah, my nephew is severely autistic to the point where he's 5. He's nonverbal. He just grunts and screams at people, and he runs away. My sister cannot. I mean,
Right.
if she takes her eyes off him, or unlocks the apartment door, or
Right.
whatever, he is gone.
Oh yeah. I've
And
had kids like that.
he will not have a life on his own. He will need
I
constant
mean, that's
care.
not completely impossible yet,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
Um, I mean, because I was gonna say I hate the word severely autistic, just like I hate
You're
high and low functioning, because
you're right.
like
I
no,
apologize. Yeah,
no,
you're right.
there's not better language, so I'm not
I don't know
upset.
what else to call it.
Right. No,
He doesn't have
we
your
haven't
skills.
figured out better language yet.
Yeah.
Don't take that as I'm upset.
Okay.
It's me thinking out loud, like we gotta find a better way to describe some of these things. Because, like,
Right.
I mean, let's dive into it a little bit. Something that I've been responding to this week is our wonderful, wonderful head of the National Institute of Health, and I don't know how he dresses himself in the morning, and somehow we decided to let him run a department in charge of the U.S. healthcare.
Right.
Um, Put out his great thing about autistic people will never pay taxes, they'll never hold down a job, they'll never play baseball, they'll never write poems, they'll never go on a date. Many of them need assistance toileting. And like the response from just me is I am autistic. I have paid a lot of taxes. I've held many jobs and never been fired.
Yep.
I have and do play a lot of baseball. I have and do write many poems. I've gone on dates and I'm happily married, and I haven't need assistance toileting in more than 42 years.
Yeah.
But as somebody who works in autism education, I've had students that I know will pay taxes, I know will do great jobs, but they won't be able to play baseball. They'll write great poems. They might go on dates and get married, but they might also still need assistance going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Exactly. It is a spectrum. That
Right. And this is why I have it's not just a spectrum, it's not a linear spectrum.
exactly. Exactly.
It's at least a three-dimensional
I
spectrum.
mean, we're talking. I mean,
Right.
listeners can't see my
Exactly.
hands. Listeners
Right.
can't see my hands, but I'm like spreading them every direction.
Every direction. It's at least a three-dimensional spectrum, you
Yeah.
know. And it can affect so many parts of your body. And I mean, like more and more, I am convinced that neurodivergence, whether we're talking absolutely diagnosable autism or not, but neurodivergence probably represents 60% of the population. The problem is, of that 60%, no more than like 1% of any of them compare to each other. So you have at least 60 cohorts in that 60%, and probably closer to 60,000 cohorts in that 60% of neurodivergence. Whereas I'm also pretty certain that when it comes to neurotypical, there's people who think in words and people who think in pictures.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's my point. Is like the 40% overall they're a minority because neurotypical versus neurodivergent, but because they're a united minority, because they're because they're so alike and we're so different, not just from them but from each other.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is normal. You
You
know,
know, it's so weird. Diagnoses are so weird. Myself, right? I have a personality disorder, which is not classified as neurodivergent, and it really should be. But
well, actually, I'm not certain that it's not. I don't know because you're borderline
uh,
personality, right?
borderline. Yep.
Yeah. So I'd have to go look. I know that it's regularly comorbid with
Right.
autism.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
so I mean, I would have to look at the DSM. I mean, again, the DSM-5 has a dramatically different definition of autism than the DSM-4 did. The
Yes.
DSM-4 had a dramatically different definition of autism than DSM-3 did.
Yeah.
You know, DSM-2 and 1 had like I don't remember if autism was in both of them, but like we were only talking about the most severely affected people.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
And there's some people that are like, well, if there's so many and it's so broad, what's the point? And it's like, well, because there's a point in figuring out, oh, the stuff that works for 40% of the population might not work for this person. And that doesn't mean they're dumb and it doesn't mean they're lazy. It means that they have to figure out things differently.
Yeah, and make it work. Right.
It means that
And
certain things are a lot harder for them.
yes, I agree.
Even
100%.
well, other things are a lot easier for them.
Yeah. For this is such a strange thing, but like getting me, like if you want uh if you want me, I am like in the morning, I am right on. But if it's evening or getting dark, like I am a different person
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like right now, this is the time of day where I feel the most coherent and normal.
To a certain extent, I'm either on or I'm off.
Okay.
Um, though it used to be that it took me a lot longer to get on in the morning.
Oh,
Um,
I'm on from when I wake up.
no, I mean, even now it takes me an hour or so to be really on. You can tell how long I've been up on a 7 a.m. recording based on like how quick my wit is.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I bet you I could go through our episodes and tell you what time and how long I'd been awake for all of them without even having like actual going back and going, oh yeah, it was recorded at that time. You know, I could listen to myself and go, okay, this is probably morning and I just rolled out of bed, or this is evening and I'd been up for 18 hours and already recorded 3 podcasts.
Right.
You know?
Right.
um,
Oh man. Hey Ted,
but
let's
yeah.
get to some comic books.
Absolutely.
Because
Though
this
we
first piece
won't
of
get
news,
straight to well, no, we will get straight to comics and then leave comics and then come back to comics.
uh-huh.
Because
Because this
this
first
first piece of
news,
news is
oh,
amazing. It's been announced, I think in June. Yeah. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, Rite of Spring is coming from IDW.
yes.
6 issue sequel takes place almost a decade after the original series and will be in stores on July 9th.
We just got the trade of the original
Did you?
series at the library,
It's
and
so good.
I have been recommending it to everybody. Like Patrick Horvath,
Everybody.
thanks for being on our show. I'm sorry I had to miss the interview.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm certain I will be writing him sometime this week.
yeah, Pat, Pat, if you're listening, man, your Beneath the Trees original run is going ape shit at the library that I
Oh
work at.
yeah, you probably need to order another copy already. It's like this is always out, and there's a 5 person long wait list.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
Um,
always know that something's good when the library needs more than one copy.
I know exactly. But so
But yeah, no, very, very happy about that.
you know what the other
Um,
one, Chad? This one surprises me. The other one that's going out like crazy is because at my library, I have made a display of all of our graphic novels that are less than a year old. So, because
okay,
in my opinion,
so new
those
stuff.
those are new, And
Right.
so, anyway, the Monstress Volume 2 is going out the door so fast. Emil Ferris.
The well, yeah. I mean, because that was one of the first major. I am a book reader, but I'm reading this
Oh,
graphic novel book.
now I
So,
messed it up, Ted. I don't mean Monstress. Monstress is what we're
oh,
reading right now. What I mean was the the Emil Ferris story.
that
What is
no, my favorite thing is monsters. I knew what you're talking about.
okay? My favorite thing is
That's what I
Monstress.
was talking about too.
Okay, I
My
called it
favorite thing is
Monstress.
monsters. My favorite thing is monsters was on so many year-end best book lists
Yeah.
in 2017 that it was one of the first books that made major crossover into more traditional book clubs and whatnot. You know, the people who didn't think they liked comics until they're reading their year-end Atlantic or New York Times best list, and there's my favorite thing is monsters up near the top, and they'd never heard of it.
Right.
So it's like, oh, we need to go grab this. This looks different. This looks cool. Um, so like there are a massive number of people who've been waiting 7 years for that volume to come out, who are also
It's
not
like a
wired.
tome.
Yeah, who are also not wired into the comics scene. So they were less aware that it was coming out until they're at their library or whatever, and it's right in front of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's so popular right now.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's because it's amazing.
yeah,
Have you read either of them?
both. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
they're amazing.
they are, but it really was a struggle for me to get through it because of the format that she chose to
Yep.
present
You
the
gotta,
story.
you gotta, you gotta sit and you gotta soak it in. You
Yep.
can't, I mean, this is one of the things I actually love about comics. There isn't quite one way to read them. So, like, there is a real literacy required for comics. Just like you approach Dickens differently than you approach Nick Hornby, differently than you approach Octavia Butler, differently than you approach Shakespeare,
I
right?
love that you love Nick Hornby. He's one of my favorites.
I adore Nick Hornby.
Anyway,
I've met Nick Hornby.
no, seriously?
I talked baseball with him for 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
I
Nick,
deliberately put myself at the end of a signing line, running the risk that I wouldn't get to talk to him at all
did
because
you?
I wanted there to be nobody behind me. Because he had written a column in the. Have you ever read his What I've Been Reading column?
No, I've only read his novels and
Okay,
his
so
music with um,
Ben Folds.
Ben Folds. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had a running column in the Believer that's also been collected into books.
Okay.
Um, about it starts off with books read this month and books bought this month, and
Yeah.
then he writes an essay about
Yeah.
what he liked, that sort of thing. He's actually the one that I kind of picked up the I don't talk about stuff if I don't like it. Because like if he doesn't like a book, he won't even say that he read. I mean, he'll put like mystery thriller that I didn't like very much rather than the title in the books read.
Oh, sure. That's nice.
Right. And like there are enough books that he buys that he never winds up reading or doesn't wind up reading in a close time frame that like just the fact that he bought a book and it doesn't get written about isn't something that's easy to notice or like go, oh, is this book here that book there that he said he didn't like?
I get it.
Right.
Yep.
um
It's
but
not easy to
anyway,
figure out.
he wrote an essay about when he was selling Fever Pitch in Hollywood to become the Jimmy Fallon movie. And the fact that it was based on his soccer memoir, I'm sorry, his football memoir,
Yep.
British, um, as an Arsenal fan. And but since he was there and selling it for baseball, and it was 2003, and it was October, so the Cubs and the Red Sox were in the playoffs, and he immediately related to both teams because they had long streaks of not winning anything, just like his beloved Arsenal. So he got into the fandom immediately, and he needed a book to read, and everybody was talking about Michael Lewis's Moneyball. So he picked it up, and what he said specifically was, I understood one word in four,
Yeah.
and it was the best sports writing I've read in a decade. And
Because
that
he,
resonated hugely with me because I don't know anything about soccer. And
yeah,
I knew even less then, but I had just, because it was literally the only book of his at the time that I hadn't read, I just finished reading Fever Pitch when I read that. And I'd understood at best one word in four. And it was among the best sports books I've ever read. So I immediately felt like connected, and I wanted to be able to talk about that specifically with him. So it was like a year later when he was promoting Slam, his first and possibly still only young adult book. Um, that he was on tour and close enough to me that I went to the signing, and I deliberately put myself in the back of the line for the possibility of being able to like talk to him about that. And I brought it up, and his immediate response, and I remember he's like, "Oh yeah, did you see the Sox game last night? Beckett is really killing it."
Mm.
And I'm like, "You're still following baseball?" He's like, "Oh, it's hard to follow in Britain, but
right, right.
when I'm stateside, I fall right back into it."
That's funny. Um, you know, my
So yeah.
my own Nick Hornby journey was the book about a boy.
Oh, I love that book.
And when the movie came out, I was really disappointed. I thought they
I
missed
actually
it.
love the movie too.
You do?
They just have different third acts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's a good point. John Cusack did a great job in High Fidelity. Was he in
Hmm.
About a Boy too?
No, it was Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought High Fidelity was amazing, the movie
Well,
and
I
the
mean,
show.
High Fidelity, I think, was way more built to be adapted, easy to adapt.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think you could have been more true to the book um
In the movie
in the
of
movie,
About a Boy.
but I think the decision they made, and I don't think it was a terrible one, was rather than showing um I mean, because the heart of the story is, Will growing up because of Marcus and Marcus becoming young because of Will,
Yep. And then,
right?
this poor Marcus having to deal with his mother's weirdness.
Right. But in the book, like Marcus sets Will up for, I can't remember the name of the character right now, but she's played by Rachel Weisz in the movie. And like it's a combination of Marcus and Will falling in love with this girl that it's not physical to him. It's actually, I care about this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like he hadn't thought that was possible until Marcus had described he was trying to figure out if he wanted Ellie to be his girlfriend, and Will had started with, "Do you want to touch her?" And he's like, "Ew,
No. Yep.
gross. Is that really important?" He's like, I want to talk to her more. I want to be with her all the time."
Yeah. Totally from a
um,
different, right? They're coming
so
from it.
so then you wound up having Marcus assisted by Ellie. And I loved that those characters were still in the movie. But like the one thing that in some ways was missing from the novel that the movie did was give that moment where Marcus's mother, who, whatever her faults, loves him to death,
Oh yeah. She loves him to pieces.
gets that moment where she sees that her love has made her hold him too hard.
Yep.
you know
Yeah.
and it's way easier to do that whole closing sequence where you know they do the talent show than it is to have the closing sequence where Marcus and Ellie run away, break a window, get arrested, go to jail, have to come and be bailed out. You know, it would have had to be 3 times as long of a movie, and the tone would have changed in a way that doesn't work as well in a movie.
I know why they made the changes they made. You know,
Right. So
I just didn't enjoy it as much.
no, I get that, and like I know that I'm one of the weird ones that can, particularly with even, I'm really weird in terms of being able to do it with something that I love in another medium, to be able to sit back and go, okay, this was the movie about a boy was inspired by the book about a boy, but they're very different things, and I love them both for some of the same reasons and for some different reasons.
Okay, cool.
Because it is actually my favorite movie based on a Nick Hornby book, too.
Is it about a boy? Oh,
Right. Even though I'm fully aware of the ways that it changes.
yeah. And I'm the
But
opposite.
I like those changes. I don't, it's one of those things where two things can be true. I don't think Hornby did it badly. I don't think the changes were strictly necessary, but I also think they were brilliant.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I
I
never
mean,
thought
it's
about
it,
the movie. I never thought about the movie with any depth like I
right,
did the book.
right. I challenge you at some point, go watch it and try hard not to like compare it to your memories of the book.
Okay.
Try to just watch it as its own thing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because it's also one of Hugh Grant's and one of Nicholas Holt's like most brilliant performances.
That's true. Nicholas
I
Holt.
mean, Hugh Grant was born to play that role. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know if he's really that shallow in life, but like I remember reading the book during that opening scene where we thought you had hidden depths. No, 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 no. That's where you've got it wrong. I really am this shallow. I remember reading the book years before the movie came out, and
Same. Yep.
I was hearing Hugh Grant's voice in my head for that line.
I was not. So Hugh Grant was kind of a guy. I'm like, really? I didn't picture a Hugh Grant type person.
No, because I'd already seen him I mean it's like the nth degree of his character from Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Right.
You know, give his character from Four Weddings and a Funeral enough money that he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you get his character from About a Boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I I kind of forgot when I watched X Men First Class. Right. He plays Beast. Nicholas Holt does.
right.
And I kind of forgot about his young role as
Yeah.
Marcus. And
Yeah.
yeah, now that it's
Whereas the entire reason that I watched Jack the Giant Slayer was because it had Nicholas Holt.
really.
Yeah.
eh,
It's a better movie than a lot of people gave it credit for, but
I'm
I
gonna go
wouldn't have
back and
watched
watch
it.
it. I'm
I
gonna go
wouldn't
back.
have watched it if it hadn't had Nicholas Holt. I've watched About a Boy so many times.
Oh man, that's
But
fun.
we are like 30 minutes into this podcast and we haven't even gotten to our
I
second news
know.
piece.
And this is the day that I gotta go to work.
So let I hate to move too quickly through this one, but I guess in some ways it's the state of the world. There was a school shooting at Florida State University. Here's what I'm going to say that in some ways is all that needs to be said. A memorial for a shooting off campus at, I believe, a salon that involved Florida State students had to be postponed because of the shooting on the Florida State campus.
Mm-hmm.
One shooting preempted the memorial for another shooting. Let that sink in for a second.
That's so messed up.
Right. Okay. You know what else is messed up? You know who goes to Florida State?
Um, no.
A lot of Parkland kids.
Oh, great. Wow. They're going to be so, oh
Yeah,
my God. I
yeah,
can't even, oh my
yeah.
God.
Here's my next question.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually talking to this with about this with Edgar yesterday, Dr. Edgar Ramos. He'll be back on the show tomorrow night for the Tom King Book Club. I had a couple of years where I had to do duck and cover drills, even though most people knew how ridiculous those were by that point, and I don't think we had to do them after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Did you ever
I
have to do duck and cover?
I vaguely remember from elementary school, and I don't know if it was just a one-time
Yeah,
thing,
I
but
feel like I feel like I did them in kindergarten and first grade, maybe second grade. I'm certain that I didn't do them after third grade.
I have a memory of doing it. I just couldn't tell you how many times we had to. I didn't
Yeah.
know
You know what I never did
what
until I was a teacher?
a active shooter drill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? Not a student alive right now has had to, every student alive right now has had to do every year of their fucking lives.
it's horrible because even the drills are
So
a
are
little
traumatic.
are stressful, right? When I'm
Yeah.
making my
So
classroom
so here's my fucking
barricade the door.
question. If you and I didn't have to do that when we were kids, and we didn't have to do that because God Almighty, we didn't shoot people as much,
Mm-hmm.
except that crime rates were way higher. So we actually did. We just didn't have the same sort of firepower, and we managed to keep it mostly out of the hands of kids.
Yeah, so it was never a school problem, really. And I mean,
And it
obviously,
was never
Columbine,
a random problem.
yeah.
There
I
was
didn't, I
some
didn't,
level of responsibility and accountability. You know what changed? We made it so you couldn't sue gun companies. You know what changed? We stopped doing any research into it. You know what
yeah.
changed? We decided the Second Amendment was absolute. All of that has happened in our lifetimes. So anybody who says that there's nothing we can fucking do, fuck you, read a damn book, and remember your damn childhood.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about FSU.
But first,
Um,
I got one question for you.
sure.
During, I don't know what your summer when you go back to school, teachers have like their training for 2 weeks ahead of the school year starting or whatever.
We
Uh,
have we have we have stuff for 2 days ahead of the school year starting.
okay, okay. Do you get shot with rubber bullets? Do you have a cop come in?
Thank God no, because I fucking sue.
It hurts, man. I've had it
I
done for
know.
2 years.
I know it hurts.
Oh
I
God,
have been shot with a rubber bullet, but
it is.
I've never volunteered to be shot with a rubber bullet.
Oh, it was mandatory at the school I went to. The school I taught at Hills Beaver Creek. We had to hide in the classroom, and if we were in the classroom that the sheriff that came to do the drill, if he found us, he was going to open fire. And I was protecting my female.
Here is my question.
Yep.
Were you allowed to hit him over the head with a chair to stop him?
No.
Because in a real life situation, that's what I would have done.
Yeah. I got hit in the back so many times because I was
So
guarding the
like
women that were terrified.
the fact that they can shoot you, but you can't do the things that you would actually do in that situation is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because
All
seriously,
I
like
know.
even when we're doing lockdown drills,
Yep.
the first thing I do is find something hard that I can swing and hit somebody over the head with.
I know. I mean, I the only thing that I could do was cover the other people in my group.
Which like best practice is
Not effective.
flee,
It's
hide, or act.
yeah. I know.
You know, if you can get away, you run. If you can get away, you run. If you can't, you hide, and if you must, you act. So, like, by the time I mean, frankly, I'm of the opinion that like a good teacher gets their kids into that corner and to be quiet and grabs a fucking chair and hides just outside the door with an angle on where it opens. And if it opens, that chair comes down with a great deal of force.
Yeah, I'm on your page.
And I got amplified enough that I just got a text from my wife, who's two rooms over and a door in between us,
That she's
saying that
sleeping.
her new favorite Tad quote is "fuck you, read a damn book and remember your childhood."
Okay, so what we don't really do you want to go into what kind of week it's been and like political?
I, I will just say
It's
that
been horrible.
like anybody who is watching selfies being taken with people in a prisoner that nobody ever has been released from and thinks is a good thing needs to have their head examined.
Yes.
Um, and that it's not a question of whether or not the Trump administration will defy the Supreme Court. They are currently defying the Supreme Court. We are at the question of will we let them?
Right. Where where are the U.S. Marshals? I mean, isn't that
Under the supervision of Pam Bondi.
just true? I just that's true.
Yeah, like I said, it is no longer a question of whether or not this regime will defy the Supreme Court. They are defying the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
The question is what happens next. So we're about to get a new catalog. So let's go through the last batch of books that are on the old catalog, and you
Yeah.
need to get in and order them if you want them soon.
So just to give you a
Uh,
heads up, I have 45 minutes before I really got to get off and get
all
dressed.
right. So we're gonna start rolling, and this makes it useful that I only read one chapter of One Piece.
Okay.
Be Not Afraid, number one, from Jude Ellison Doyle and Lissandro Estherin.
Yep.
Cora Reems lived the isolated life of a simple farm girl until one fateful summer day, prophetic visions brought her a visitor made of pure light, an angel. In the aftermath, Cora gave birth to a child, a Nephilim, the offspring of an angel and a human woman, seemingly imbued with evil itself. In stores, June 4th.
Cool cover. Yeah. All right. Bitchcraft. I love the title of this from Aaron Reese and Lima Carrillo. Set against the backdrop of modern day New York City during a seemingly permanent supernatural eclipse, Bitchcraft follows a queer coven bound by magic and blood, each bringing their own flair to the craft. A pretentious oracle who speaks with gods, an emo necromancer with a forked tongue, and a nature witch with the soul of a fairy tale princess. Under the guidance of their enigmatic guardian mother, or MTHR, the coven discovers they're at the center of an ancient prophecy, and all which kind hangs in the balance. You guys, this is going to be in shops on June 18th, and it is out from Mad Cave.
Mad Cave.
Yep. All right, this one's mine. New History of the DC Universe 1 through 4. This looks really good. From Mark Waid, Jerry Ordway, Todd Newick. Learn the definitive history of the DC universe. In celebration of the 90 years of DC, superfan and writer Mark Waid turns back time to the very beginning of the DC universe in a 4-issue miniseries drawn by some of DC's greatest artists. I skipped a line. And told by the newest chronicler of time, Barry Allen. The Flash. In our debut issue, Barry takes us from the very birth of the DCU to the rise of the Justice Society. The golden age of heroes has begun. Obviously, this is a DC book, and it will be in shops June 25th.
Texarkanum from Chris Monfett and Miguel Martos and Dark Horse Books. America is a melting pot for the supernatural. Ghosts and gods, angels and demons, horror stories and tall tales. They've traveled from across the globe to collide in the rural heartland. The cowboy arcanist Avery Bell has spent a very long lifetime amongst them. Um, in stores July 23rd. Looks
Nice.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it does.
All right, some graphic novels. Downlands from Norm
I read that as
Connew.
downloads.
Yeah, from Norm Connew, coming out from Titan, a wonderfully evocative ghost story in the great tradition of M.R. James and Daphne du Maurier, with a contemporary edge. After the sudden death of his twin sister, 14-year-old James Reynolds becomes obsessed with her tale of a black hound, a folkloric creature that is regarded as a portent of death. Enlisting the aid of his elderly neighbor, who the local children call the witch, he delves into the centuries of village history, folklore, and ghosts until he uncovers a deeper secret beyond his darkest nightmares, beyond the sight of most, and beyond the mortal veil. In stores on June 4th.
All right. My puppy came to visit me to read this one. Idris File by Dix, D-I-X. In Wales, 1974, a fisherman inadvertently reels in a Nazi flag. Meanwhile, young Idris, how do you pronounce that? Idris and his
I'd say Idris, but I
Idris
don't
and
know.
his mother ride a train in the countryside. Idris's mother has a new housekeeping job awaiting her in the small town of Bofili by the sea. Her new employer, a wealthy man named Mr. Miller, is confined to a wheelchair, and beginning immediately upon their arrival, Mr. Miller's unceasing demands as an employer leave the socially awkward Idris adrift in this new town friendless. That is until he meets the mysterious and profane Gwen in the local cemetery. This is going to be in shops, you guys, on June 25th June 25th from Fantagraphics.
Does look cool.
Yeah.
This one's you too.
Outsiders from Akira Kanu. Vampires and werewolves collide in the modern fantasy epic. Step into the city's shadows and uncover the secrets behind the ancient feud alongside a curious and brave young girl. Prepare to be captivated by another masterpiece from the mind of Akira Kanu, where fantasy meets reality with Outsiders Volume 1. Delve into a world where vampires and werewolves clash in the dark, and humans unravel the secrets of an ancient feud. This will be in shops on August 13th, you guys. And it looks like this one
Titan.
is from Titan. Yeah.
Titan. Riptide from Alex Vade. And Dark Horse Books. Ancient Grudges ignites a new Cold War between mankind and a forgotten nemesis. After a shocking discovery, a marine biologist must choose between loyalty to humanity and a chance for peace with the mysterious Sato, the lost inhabitants of the lost city of Atlantis. Will he risk everything to save both species? In stores on September 23rd. A couple of collections.
Barstow. This one is from Rebecca McKendry and David McKendry, Tyler Jenkins, Justin Birch from Dark Horse. Let's see here. Award-winning horror writing and filmmaking team David Ian McKendry and Rebecca McKendry team up with Eisner-nominated artist Tyler Jenkins in this quirky and gruesome comedy horror graphic novel about a scenic desert, an eccentric town, and demons from hell. This is going to be in shop September 2nd, you guys. Looks awesome.
September 23rd.
Did I say it wrong? Oh, you know why?
Second.
I did, because that's what you have on our list.
Oh, I forgot to put the 3.
Yeah. I'm reading right off of our list there.
I believe you.
I believe you. Right there. Okay.
I fixed it. Marjorie Finnegan Temporal Criminal Deluxe Edition from Garth Ennis and Goran Suzuka. All new expanded edition of Marjorie Finnegan. It features the original 8 issues plus a new full issue. length story from Garth and Gorin. Marge's larcenous trail from the Big Bang to the 95th Reich has drawn the beady eye of the temporal PD, whose number one deputy marshal is now hard on our heroine's trail. This book is so good. I loved this book.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, anything Garth Ennis writes, I'm
well,
on.
that's true. But I really like it when he's being like off the wall, funny and sci-fi.
Yes. I mean,
So
his darker stuff is really good too, but
it is. But you know me, I like my humor.
mhm.
I like my humor, and this has got it in spades. It's got darkness in spades too, but it's got humor in spades. So some final order cutoff. Detective Kaiju #1 from Michael Calero, Kit Wallace, and Massive Books in stores May 28th. The Future is #1. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Yeah, this is all April 28th cutoffs. The Future is #1 from Fedra and Lenti and Ennio Buffy in stores May 28th. And right ahead of final order cutoff, I booked one of the hackers from Black Hills Security, the white hat hacking company that is behind Recca Books and
Mhm.
putting out this comic. So we're gonna get to like hear about the real world type stuff that went into the making of this book.
I
Um,
think
I'm
I think
psyched
my
for that.
dog is watching you, Tad.
Hi, doggy.
She
Um,
keeps looking at the screen when you talk, like she's comforted.
cool. Cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that interview. I've read this issue already. It's amazing. They're committing right up front to 60 issues. This is one of the more ambitious projects we've seen in comics in a long time, and I
Right.
can't wait to see it kick off.
Yeah.
Um, Also from Fred Van Lente.
I was gonna say, speaking of Fred,
Yeah, on final order cutoff is the trade paperback of Murder Kingdom. If for whatever reason you didn't want to see what happened at the knockoff Disney or the Disney knockoff theme park where they stuck to the original Grimm's fairy tales, and then a serial killer decided that they wanted to really make them Grimm's fairy tales, then like A, you're silly for not having read it at all, but B, on May 21st, you'll be able to get it in its entirety. Final order cutoff is April 28th. Sleep #1 from Xander Cannon and Image Comics also will be out May 21st. String, about the girl who can see strings between people that they are going to kill or be killed by and people that they've had sex with. Red strings for, or red pink strings for the sex and black strings
Black
for the
Strings for the
death.
Death. Yeah.
The trade paperback is in stores from Paul Tobin and Carlos Javier Oliveras on May 21st. Both that and Murder Kingdom are from Mad Cave. And finally, Whatever Happened to Crimson Justice from Frank Thierry and Inaki Miranda. Also from Mad Cave. #1 will be out May 21st. Last opportunity to back the Cure Breed film from Cube of Justice Films and friend of the podcast, Jonathan's friend, um, through May 21st. I did a little looking around for other cool stuff. There's A Life on Pause, which is a story of a comic about love and pet grief from Sina Grace, is on Kickstarter until um, May 9th. Unicorn Vampire Hunter, which is exactly what it sounds like,
Yep.
from Caleb Palmquist on Kickstarter until May 9th.
It
And
looks
then
awesome.
the Complete Lunch comics from James Vanderberg. Essentially, a guy has been drawing comics on his lunch break at work for years now, and he's collecting them all together. And that's on Kickstarter until June 5th.
Is it
So
a continuous story or is it
I don't know.
multiple?
I didn't even look that far. It just looked cool. So I added it to the list. Maybe we'll find out for next week.
Okay. Because we
Because
should
we're on a
talk to,
clock, man. We're down to half an hour.
I know, but we should definitely get James on
We
there.
we should we should we should look into reaching out. I'm
Yeah.
I'm in favor of that. Yep. You actually managed to have three books that I haven't read yet on your list, even though I had to go top nine this week.
You did. Oh
Yeah.
man, I had to. I am like
Your
barely
number
scraping
one
by.
is next on my pile,
Okay.
and your
X
number
Factor number
three is the
nine.
one after it.
Hold on, I got to get rid of my dog here. Okay, X
Right.
Factor number nine, by Mark Russell and Bob Quinn. It's just continues to be awesome and funny and adventurous, and I'm holding this up as if people can see it, but it's just you.
I can see it.
Yeah.
It's an X Factor book. It
Yes.
might even be the one that he's talking about. He's
Yeah.
small in the corner of my screen, so I don't know for certain.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number eight was really dark. Jason Aaron and Juan
Yeah, I need to
Ferreira.
catch up on TMNT,
Yeah, I mean, if you thought Sophie Campbell's was kind of funny and lighthearted,
which I didn't read enough of Sophie Campbell's.
okay, so hers was like not at all silly, but
Right,
it was like Ninja Turtles light kind of,
right.
and this is dark and
More the TV series we grew up on than the comic that inspired it.
yeah,
And this one goes back to the comic that inspired it slash the Ronin stuff that's been done recently.
yep,
That's
yep,
how I felt about the three issues that I've read too. So yeah,
yep. And then Usagi 10,000 Plums number two from Stan
Usagi is just
Sakai.
amazing.
Yeah, I love the artwork constantly, and I don't know, I never noticed it before, but we've got a UI or a UY number. So that if you are tracking your Usagi stuff and want to
Right,
know where it comes in the time, it does have the 281.
right, right.
So, which is kind of like that Marvel
Yeah, yeah.
legacy number.
So my first seven books on my list
Seven.
deserve to be number one.
Okay.
The first seven books on my list deserve to be number one.
All right.
I'm actually giving the spot to Iron Man number seven, Spencer Ackerman and Julius Oda from Marvel, because Ackerman continues to like brilliantly balance Tony Stark tech tycoon and Tony Stark Iron Man and be right on the edge of like, okay, Tony's a smart guy and he wants the best, but when one person has this much power, what could possibly go wrong?
Right. I mean, and not only that, Spencer Ackerman is definitely the guy to write this story.
Oh
Um,
God.
and so yeah, I'm with you. This has been a great Iron Man run. I am only reading it because of Spencer Ackerman.
Me too.
I just don't really enjoy Iron Man as a character normally.
I mean, he's a character. I mean, you know me. There are very few characters that I ever wind up saying that about. I think there's a side to every character that I'll wind up liking. Um, Iron Man probably more than some. I think people, I love Denny O'Neil's run. I love Cantwell's run. I love Busiek's run.
I will
Fraction had a
100%.
good run.
I will 100% admit I did not care about Iron Man until Robert Downey Jr. I
Yeah.
didn't. It never entered my
Yeah,
radar.
whereas I actually probably I don't think Downey Jr. pushed the needle on Iron Man to me at all.
Okay.
I mean, I liked his performance, but like everything that he did was, I mean, it's clear that for the Iron Man movies, the people that like Jon Favreau and Downey knew their shit.
Yes,
They're
they knew how to
very
make Tony.
well, yeah, and they're very inspired by the best comics. But having already read the best Iron Man comics, it wasn't like, oh, wow, I didn't know that Tony Stark could be this.
I did, and unfortunately,
Right.
that was me. What you just described, I'm like,
No,
oh,
and and
Tony
and
can be
that's
cool.
okay. There are way too many comics for everybody to keep up on them.
That was
But
me.
I mean,
When I
one
watched Robert's performance, I was seriously going, that was really good. That was cool. Why haven't I paid
um
attention to Iron Man? That's what I went. What are you looking
uh
at? Sober or what?
hold on.
Okay.
one of the comics that I had very young and why Iron Man was this one.
Okay. Tony Stark will be sober or dead. So I'm guessing he had a drinking problem.
Yeah, well, this is actually from like his first relapse after like acknowledging his drinking problem and getting help.
Okay.
So yeah, there was like they dealt with his alcoholism. And for that matter, what I loved about Busiek's run was he was essentially Carol Danvers' sponsor as she dealt with hers.
Okay.
You know, so like he's always been a flawed character to me,
Carol
an
Danvers, did she?
idealist.
Um, I don't know much about her past except for Rogue stealing her powers. Uh, what did she go into a downward spiral after that, or what was her?
I forget exactly because it was right. It was the Heroes Return era,
Uh-huh.
or no, the Heroes Reborn era, right after the Heroes Return era, or was Heroes Return after Heroes Reborn? You know what I mean, don't you? I think.
Yes. Yep. I do. I
Remember they
know
had
those.
like
I
the
know those. Yep.
year where it was other stuff, and then they came back and like started over.
Yeah.
And it was when they came back and started over. Um, so I think I mean, at least in my reading, she came back as an alcoholic. And not even
Okay.
came back as an alcoholic because I hadn't really done the Heroes Reborn. I did the Heroes Return.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't
Okay.
know why.
All right.
I mean, I know that some of it was just, I mean, there's so many reasons that people turn to alcohol, period. And like all of the reasons were very reasonable ones. Um, but yeah, it managed to knock Tom King out of the Wonder Woman with Wonder Woman 20 out of the one spot, in spite of the fact that like Diana came to play this episode or this issue, and it still managed to have some humor by the end. Um, I'll leave it at that.
Sweet.
Uh, I actually was texting with Chris Condon as I was finishing Ultimate Wolverine, which was amazing, and at the time was just out of my top three because while I put Ultimate Wolverine ahead of Star Trek Defiant, which is my number four, I won't put it ahead of Star Trek Defiant and Challengers of the Unknown, which are both Chris Cantwell books from last week. But if I split them, Condon comes in at three with Alessandro Capuccio and Ultimate Wolverine, and Cantwell and David Tinto come in at number four with Star Trek Defiant. Buried Long, Long Ago, number one from Anthony Cleveland and Alex Cormack. I read this a while ago. It's so fucking good. Belle
Yeah.
Gunness and a supernatural twist. Couple of things that I got from Kickstarter packages. So like I kind of used them to cheat and get to my nine because I wouldn't normally throw these in because I don't know how soon they'll be available to other people. But if those of us who ordered Terry Moore's covers, his hardcover book of all of the covers he's done, he threw in a book called Trigger Warning, a Strangers in Paradise story, where he put um Katchu and why am I drawing a blank on Katchu's wife's name right
I
now?
don't remember either.
And she's my favorite one. Anyway, he put them in the Old West, and it was beautiful. Also, the digital copy of Lab Number Three, Three's Company from Ronald Wimberly et al. Came out, and I maintain Ronald Wimberly is one of the most brilliant minds in comics. And anytime he does anything, I'm on board, and he still hasn't like ever let me down. Then we get to the aforementioned Challenges of the Unknown number five from Chris Cantwell and Sean Isaacs, and then Exceptional X-Men number eight from Eve Ewing and Carmen Carnero.
That was so
Also
good, wasn't it? The Exceptional X-Men.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, also Wolverine. You know, Ted, I got to tell you, a couple years ago, I don't think that I would have guessed you would have put X-Men comics on your list. Not
I mean,
because you don't like them, but because it just wasn't as the writing wasn't as top tier,
I mean,
right?
no, I mean, really what it was is a couple of years ago, they were still so intertwined that it was hard to read any of them separately.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do want to go back and binge that run at some point, but I did not have the energy to read it all, and it felt enough like one big story that I felt like I either read it all or I read none of it, and I chose none of it, you know.
Yep. And I
I mean,
chose the
again,
opposite.
now
And
that
it,
it's done, there's a good chance that I'll read it all together, possibly even sooner rather than later. You know, it's one of the things that's possible for this summer. Um,
one of the things that I've done with this new run is going, okay, I don't need to collect everything. So I'm not collecting Storm and I'm not
right.
reading, some of the throwaway
Well,
titles.
and like both, I mean, X Factor and Exceptional X-Men are the only two I'm reading.
And they're
At some
amazing.
point, I will go back and read Gail Simone's
Those
for
Gail Simone's
certain.
is good. But X
Yeah,
Factor and what was the other one you said? In
Exceptional X-Men.
Exceptional. Those are the
Yeah.
best. I mean, they
Well, yeah.
are the
I
hands
mean,
down. The writing is amazing.
it's Mark Russell and Eve Ewing.
Mm-hmm.
I will follow them anywhere they go.
Yep.
You know. Um, well, you read more this week than I did in One Piece, but
Yeah,
still not that much. You read like 5 chapters and I read 1 chapter.
I know.
So we still with the zombies, and one day we'll be able to tell you how the zombie thing turns out.
One day, someday, someday we'll get there.
How about Monstress?
I
I loved how we got lots of backstory. We got lots of like supernatural inside the spirit world slash Micah's head.
Yep.
Um, this was a trippy fucking volume.
It was dark. I mean, this whole story is dark for sure, but
All right.
this right off the bat, right, with the kid, what is his name?
Kip.
Yep, right.
Kippa.
Going, oh, you did this. Wake her up or I'll kill you. Right.
Right.
It's just so emotional right off the bat.
Well, and
And
how about when the cat comes back
oh, I know. It's
and
just
Kippa has his tail?
yep,
He's like, no, you need to keep it for now because I haven't earned it.
yep,
It's just I cried. I literally cried.
yeah. It's just so these characters are so deep. I mean, they're they're written so well, and I mean, this is a human. I mean, I know we're dealing with like all different. I don't know what you call them, races, species, right? But it's a human. This is such a human
But
story.
I know it's based on Chinese history and folklore, so like there's a
Oh,
part
okay,
of I haven't yet, but like I need to dig in and like are we talking like different I mean because they're China parts of China have been a country for 3 or 4 thousand years,
correct.
as
Yep,
was recently, you know, put out by the emperor of, or not the emperor of China, the
president. I think
president, prime minister, whatever. She, you know,
she. Yeah,
when like uh, he kept getting baited, he's like, "We've been around for 3,000 years.
yep,
You are babies. We 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 will survive."
yeah. And while the United States right now is in peril, and
Right. A mere 275 years in.
exactly, exactly. I
Or
mean,
I'm sorry, 250 years in. 250 years. A mere 250 years in, we're in real peril. Now, we can argue about whether or not living in China is better than living in the United States. We can argue all sorts of things about
sure.
like the differences in the country, but I think that like if you had Vegas odds on which one of them was still going to be a country 10 years from now, China would be like 1,000,000 to 1 that China would be broken up in 10 years. And I don't think you could get better than 10 to 1 odds on the United States right now.
Correct. Correct. I think this is my personal like scared belief, but I think we could witness the end of uh our country as a republic sometime in our lifetime.
I think that's possible. I also think, and this is, believe it or not, a hopeful belief. I mean, obviously, the most hopeful belief is that we somehow managed to pull it together as our country and reclaim the republic and become more democratic than we've ever been. But what I could also see is us splitting in two, or possibly even three or four, with parts of us becoming more democratic than we've ever been,
Yep.
and other parts of us deciding that they're willing to be shitholes just because they like want to be able to use the N word and beat up on trans people.
You know what pisses me off? Joe Rogan says the R word is back. We can use the R word. And I'm like, what is the matter with you? Like,
Says the R word guy.
yeah. I mean, like he was literally cheering that he feels comfortable to use the
Well,
R word on his podcast.
I mean, frankly, um, to a certain extent, that's not one that I even think is completely canceled. I think there aren't a lot of people that are going to get upset if I call Joe Rogan a retard. It's not cool to call somebody with intellectual disabilities the R word.
Right.
He really wants the R word back for him. Joe, you're a retard.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me
See,
wrong. I'm
my,
not
my
big on
sensibilities,
using
I
that
am
word,
not comfortable
period.
with using that as a name for somebody, right? I would not do that. It's just
No,
not,
no, I am not overly comfortable with it, but I feel like more than any of them,
yeah.
that was actually the one that almost got created by the right.
Yeah.
Let's rally around because you can't rally around the N word.
They will.
No, what I mean is you can't rally around the idea that it's unfair that you can't use the N word.
True.
That won't play.
I get it. I get it.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm completely okay with getting rid of the R word, but I feel like the attack on Christmas that apparently Happy Holidays is, um, I feel like it's a manufactured grievance,
Correct.
or at least more of a man. It might not have started on the right. It might have started with people who literally have a grievance, but I feel like it's been massively hijacked by the right and then used as an example of, see, we got rid of political correctness.
Yeah.
All right, so are you okay when I call you a overly emotional snowflake? Because that's what you are. Certainly what Joe is, totally what Elon is.
Donald
Elon
is,
lets his emotions control his actions all the time, and he is a gentle little snowflake.
oh, yeah. Like he complains all the time about why people are mad at him and why would they destroy
Right.
Teslas? And he's like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what I
For,
did.
free speech, except when people don't like me.
Yep.
That's the definition of a snowflake.
Yep. It's
um,
crazy, man.
yeah.
Um, but
I
back
mean,
to
and that's the biggest difference between like word talk on the right and left.
yeah.
On the right, it's about I don't get to be mean. And on the left, it's like maybe we should consider that our words have consequences.
Yep.
Maybe we should consider that if we're bullying somebody with our words, even unintentionally, it can cause them not just to be uncomfortable, but to be uncomfortable in a way that means that they're less productive. That
Right.
means that we don't get as much done, that affects our ability to communicate with each other. I mean, like, it's not political correctness, it's good communication.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, if if I didn't like being called tadpole, and you insisted on calling me tadpole. Do you think we would wind up having a good relationship?
Well, obviously not. I mean, because I'm not
So
listening.
what's the difference between like going, oh, maybe we shouldn't call people the N word or the R word or the C word or the S word or the B word?
Yep.
What's the difference?
That's not how bullies think.
I know
They
it's not how bullies think, but like that's the thing is the people who care about whether or not they have to learn your pronouns are just bullies.
Yes.
So tell me, we're gonna flip it over just because
Oh,
we're running out of time. Tell me what you hope will be spectacular, and then I'll tell you what I hope will be spectacular, and then I'm gonna take us out with a quick reading from a post that was put up by the son of one of our guests.
okay. So I really am looking forward. I didn't put this down because you already had it. The Plastic Man No More collection.
Yeah.
That was really good, you guys. Christopher Cantwell and Alex Lenz killed it on that series, that mini series. And I'll be picking this up as well. It's I don't even know Plastic Man before this. I didn't anyway. But my
I did, but he still killed it.
yeah, God, there's so many good books coming out next week, you guys. Black Hammer Spiral City #5 from Jeff Lemire and Teddy Christensen um, from Dark Horse. And then Jeff is also putting out Minor Arcana #6 by himself from Dark Horse. And then Epitaphs from the Abyss #10 continues to be one of my favorites. I don't even care who's writing it, but it is Jeff Jansen, Jeremy Lambert, Kurt Pyers, Valeria Berzo, Sam Cavella, and Andrea Moody on this book.
All
From EC,
righty.
I didn't put it on here, but it's from EC Oni.
EC Oni, yeah. Um, my ones that I'm most looking forward to, string #5. See my comments earlier when I
Yep.
was talking about being excited for the trade paperback. And I'm so excited for it that it beat out the combined #2 of Absolute Martian Manhunter #2 and Assorted Crisis Events #2 from Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez and Eric Zawadzki, respectively, from DC and Image, respectively. And then Spectrum #5 from Rick Quinn and Dave Chisholm at Mad Cave. And I already know that Out of Alcatraz #2 from Christopher Cantwell and Tyler Crook is fucking spectacular. You should definitely pick that up.
Yeah, it's good. I
So
love the first one.
so, God, I think more than 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
we had Ryan Bussey on.
Okay.
Ryan Bussey wrote Gunfight,
Yes.
which is the insider's perspective on the gun industry and how it completely and utterly lost its way. He ran for governor of um, Montana. Unfortunately, he lost. He was the Democrat. His son Lander actually got to speak in front of Bernie Sanders in Montana either yesterday or Friday. But I'm going to read from something he wrote recently as we take it out. Lander wrote this, I think, last week, and it went up on April 9th, so a little bit more than last week, and it went up on Ryan's Substack. Um, because one of the things that I've noticed a lot, particularly as boomers finally discover that there's a problem, is they're way too willing to blame the youth of today. They're way too willing to say that there aren't attention spans or good critical thinking or whatever. But also, like when you bring up the big issues, you sometimes hear from them, uh, but we just had to stop Trump. We can't worry about that now. That's too, we need to focus. So this is from Lander Bussey, who is 20 and just based on this reading, a brilliant, brilliant young man.
Okay.
It's actually in response to the fact that everything under age 26, every cohort except black women wound up going to Trump this last election cycle, which shocked me and shocked a lot of
Yeah.
people. But
You
we're
saw
still, I think,
my head
right,
twist around when you
right.
said that one. What?
So this is what he wrote. For too many of us, it seems like Democrats operate in a world where small tweaks to the status quo are enough. But we are a generation that has lived through a steady stream of massive, world changing mega events devoid of any smallness. We are confronting catastrophic climate change while older generations speak of minor adjustments. We lived through the once in a century turmoil of COVID 19. Our schools were shut down and we missed sports, proms, and being with friends. Many of our families experienced financial disaster during the Great Recession of 2008 to 10, which was caused by human made financial greed and lawlessness. New social media trends change our focus every week. We know that we are one car wreck or tumor away from medical expense bankruptcy. Most of us were in grade school classroom when Sandy Hook happened, and then in high school when Parkland happened. Very few of us can afford to buy a home due to the economic system established by older Americans. I'm one of many who once dreamt of having kids and now can't imagine it.
Wow.
Most of us have only been conscious of politics during the Donald Trump era. In other words, we don't even have a status quo. And when Democrats clumsily speak of small adjustments or ignore realities, we are certain they are fraudsters at worst or untrustworthy at best. That's the key to understanding the politics of Gen Z. We are not okay. We aren't frightened of big change. We're desperate for it. My generation expects the people we vote for to recognize reality and propose bold actions to address it. This was a bar too high for Democrats in 2024, and the I'm with Joe insanity proved it. I mean, come on. We may be young, but we could see that Biden could never contend, let alone win against Trump. The debate performance should have proved it, even with the White House insiders. But instead, the Democratic establishment wasted weeks telling us we were crazy. That was bad enough, unforgivable, really, but it's just part of the larger problem. We aren't stupid. Many young people rightfully recoiled at the idea of a president being so weak that he could not at least demand responsibility from Israel's current military campaign. Still, many of us also appreciated the good that Biden did. What unexpectedly united us with young people who voted for Trump was that even before the debate, we all viewed Biden as the status quo. After all, he was an 82-year-old man involved in DC policymaking for decades. Nothing about him resonated with our future or reflected the reality of our lives. People like me were hopeful for a significant reset after the candidate switch, but somehow things worsened. Harris was so cautious that she became smaller than Biden. What exactly is an opportunity economy anyway? Why didn't she believe enough in her vision to actively promote it in every outlet? We don't want careful or poll-tested generalities. We don't care about risk. Remember what we've lived through? We want policies that make us proud to be Democrats. And right now, they aren't there. Before I go further, I want to clarify that I believe what I believe is a misconception about social issues. Frankly, I've had many arguments with my dad on this topic, so Dad, part of this is for you. Young voters didn't abandon Democrats because of social issues. These topics don't intimidate us the way they do older voters. Accepting people for who they are is part of our lives. So if those they them ads had any impact, you older folks need to figure that out. Younger progressives like me don't want our candidates to merely defeat Trump. We want them to be better so that we can win over other voters. For young people who are not politically engaged, the absence of boldness in Democrats creates an opportunity for someone like Trump, since at least he will do some big things. That's in quotation marks, so I'm certain that he heard it more than once on the campus of University of Montana, where he's a student. Don't get me wrong, I detest Trump and what is happening in our country, but there was a perception in my cohort that he at least recognized the reality of a broken system. He understood how tumultuous our lives have been. Then he used a new media environment to dismantle an untrustworthy democratic establishment that was telling us not to believe our own eyes. I really think that's what we've got here. This explains why there is a weird and well documented overlapping Venn diagram of voter support in my demographic, voters who support Trump and Bernie Sanders. The issue is not right versus left divide, it's bold versus careful. Let me be blunt here. Ignoring the need for real action to fix healthcare affordability, allowing corporate fossil fuel interests to run rampant, continuing to cater to wealthy Wall Street corporations while they worsen the wealth gap, covering for members of Congress who profit from insider trading as long as they are Democrats, or pretending that opportunity economies will lead us to home ownership are all just as insane as insisting Joe Biden must stay in the race. If you condone any of this, you are destroying trust with young voters. There are plenty of opportunities to win back young voters across the political spectrum, but it's not going to happen with lies, gimmicks, or safe, poll-tested bumper stickers. Do you think people are protesting in the streets or flocking to 83-year-old Bernie rallies because we want careful? No. Plus, please just take a simple lesson from successful business innovators. Give customers what they want, and then we'll buy it.
Yeah, but who's going to do that? Who's going to be, because Bernie is old as shit, right? So
Yeah, but you know who's on that tour with him?
Waltz? No, AOC.
AOC.
Yeah.
AOC. Cory Booker's polling well.
Yeah.
And we've got enough time that for the presidency, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but like we can still have people emerge. But I think that message is like for all Democrats. Stop arguing about whether or not we can do it. Start
Yeah.
saying you want to. You want to win, start saying you want to.
Yep.
And we'll figure out the details later. And if they don't work, we'll try something else.
Yeah.
But this idea, I mean, again, this goes back to my wife's favorite quote, my new favorite quote from me that I might actually ask her to put on a t-shirt that I wouldn't be able to wear at school. Fuck you, read a damn book, and remember your childhood. These are things that we've done before, and the things that we haven't done before, other countries have. There are very few of the things that young people want, or even your and my generations want, that are unprecedented.
Right.
Will they be hard? Sure. But when I hear baby boomers talking to me about the sacrifice that's going to need to be made to overthrow Trump, I'm like, yeah?
And
But are you ready for the sacrifice that comes after?
yeah.
Are you still going to be with us, or are we going to have to go from fighting Trump to fighting you?
Right. Yeah.
Because, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have a retirement. And I try not to think about it, because to have a retirement right now would mean that I can't enjoy my life right now, and I still wouldn't have much of a retirement. So I'm going to enjoy my life while I have it, and I'll worry about the retirement when I get there. And I'll fight like hell to make certain Social Security still there. I'll fight like hell to try to make it bigger, because it's not just me that deserves a retirement. It's the guy that mows lawns his whole life. It's the guy that works at McDonald's his whole life. It's the woman that is a nurse or takes care of your kids their whole life.
Hey, yeah. Well, Ted, I have to go.
Yep. I'm sorry. I took us 3 minutes over. I was trying to watch
That's okay.
the clock to like end it immediately at 8:30. Take us out, Tyler.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This was a really fun episode, Dad.
It was.
Yep. But thanks for listening.
I got a lot out.
We really appreciate
And hey, I'm
one of you.
autistic.
And Tad is autistic. So if you had any questions in the past, now you know. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. And we will catch you guys after the next page. Later.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.